morning. My name is Amalia Delianis, and I'm the editor of Plumbing Engineer magazine. Welcome to our first episode of PHCPPros Live. We are here today at the ASPE Convention and Expo, which is taking place at the Indiana Convention Center. My first guests this morning come from Delta Commercial. I will be taking a tag team approach since we're in tight quarters this morning. So we will first be speaking with Marnie Coleman. Welcome, Marnie.
Thank you, Amalia. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining me this morning. Why don't we start off, and why don't you tell me a little bit about your role at Delta Commercial?
Sure, yeah. So I am the senior marketing manager, used to be product, senior marketing manager for Delta Commercial, and we focus on both Canada and the US.
Oh, okay. And I know that Delta has a long-standing history in Canada and the United States, but it's not only faucets. Can you talk about your product line and what else you offer?
Sure, yeah. So Delta Commercial has roots dating back all the way to 1905, so we've been around a really long time. And actually this year we're celebrating the 100th anniversary of our tech flush valve, so really big milestone for us. We have 3 manufacturing and distribution facilities across North America, and we ship close to 1 million units annually. So, we have a lot of business across North America. Beyond that, beyond our operations, we have a dedicated team that focuses on, product management, product development, the business development, of course, marketing, and then in our technical team, over 6 decades of experience of commercial products. So that's the team you call if you are specifying something and have questions about the design, or you have issues in the field. Those guys can help and answer all your questions. So
what are you most proud of about your product line? What stands out in your opinion?
Oh, so much. We're super high quality. We really take the quality serious. We stand behind our products, have a great warranty, and I'm going to talk a little bit later about some other products that we have coming up, which we're really proud of.
Okay. And what do you think has been the secret to Delta's success over the years?
Oh, we have so many secrets. No. So one actually, kind of a well-kept secret is our agility in manufacturing and product design. So we actually can work with customers and clients to manufacture something that's custom. So if there's a specific need that we don't have it in our product portfolio, we can actually, because we're local manufacturing and development, we can tweak products or design something for that specific issue, and actually those things often come into our full product portfolio because we recognize a need after having those discussions with the clients.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to go back to this 100-year celebration of the tech flush valve. How has this essential tool in the plumbing industry evolved over the years, if so, in any way, shape, or form, or and what has stayed true or original?
Yeah, we're really, really proud of this milestone. It's on the innovation wall, actually, out in the hall. So it's interesting, the internal, the inside of the faucet or the flush valve hasn't changed that much over the years. Some slight changes, but nothing. It's because it was designed right from the get-go. So it's really a great product. When we did launch it, it was one SKU, one manual SKU, and now it is multiple SKUs, different configurations, electronic and manual, in water closet and flush urinals. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that
what's so unique about it? Why do people specify your product? Is there anything that professionals look for in the design that draw them to your line?
I think so. It's one of the most popular flush valves in Canada, so It's very well recognized there for durability and quality. And then it's gaining traction in the US. I think it's really just the robustness and the dependability that people look for. The installers like it because it's easy to install and maintain, and then property owners like it for the reliability.
Oh, well, that's good. Has the style evolved over the year in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, sure. So it looks very different than it did 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And we have it in matte black now. And like I said, we have the manual electronic versions. We also have a retrofit kit, so if you have a manual version installed in your facility and you want to upgrade or change over to electronic, we have a kit that you can change that out without having to take the whole valve out.
Oh, wow. You launched something special this week called the Architectural Design Series. Can you tell us a little more about that series?
Yeah, really excited about this, and hopefully everyone can come stop by and see it at the booth. But it's so we have Tech and HDF is what we've always had in Delta Commercial, and now we have a new series called Architectural Design Series. So it's really design forward products, but with that robust commercial quality and for those high traffic areas. So the idea kind of came from our hospitality team, where they're working with properties that are looking to carry that kind of design and fashion throughout their facilities. So in a restaurant or a hotel lobby or the guest rooms, right? They want, so those high traffic common areas often default to the really industrial type products.
Right.
So like the Tech flush valve, right?
Exactly.
So, which has a place. So, but now you don't have to default there. So we have really design forward products that are going to perform as they should in that high traffic area, and but still look beautiful. So I think maybe you've seen one flashed up on the screen there, the Contrasta. So there's 3 series here. We have Contrasta, which was the angular one that you saw. We have the Rustica, which is kind of a modern twist on a classic design. And then we have my favorite is the Drift X, which is kind of like very simple but bold design. And that one, they're all available in chrome, stainless, matte black, and for the first time ever in Delta Commercial, we've launched in champagne bronze.
Okay, just to repeat for our viewers, a screenshot should have appeared with the 3 different types of products available in the Architectural Design Series. Can you repeat the 3 names one more time?
Sure.
Great.
So we have Contrasta, Drift X, and Rustica.
So, wonderful. Thank you so much. And we are going to transition speakers right now. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
taking time to
Amelia.
speak with it. My next guest from Delta Commercial will be Zandu.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Zan?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for taking time to speak with me this morning. Why don't we start off with your role at Delta Commercial? Could you tell our viewers a little bit about what you do?
Yeah.
Because you have a unique title, if you could say, which is, and I will say it, Senior Manager of Commercial and Product Knowledge, which is a little ambiguous in my terms. So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to keep things simple, my team is responsible for developing the products that we see on the commercial side, as well as we have responsibility for being that technical service, answers with customers are calling into our team to ask questions about products as well. So
Wonderful.
I've got a very long title, but a very interesting job.
Perfect. You have a tagline at Delta Commercial: design, innovation, and quality in all the right places. And it's, if you're at the show today, you can see it all over their booth. Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about your motto?
Yes, absolutely. So for us over at Delta Commercial, it's very important for us to be in tune, make sure we're designing the highest quality products for our customers. We want to make sure that the feature set meets and addresses the needs that they have in terms of the products and dealing with solutions. At the same time, though, we want to make sure that we haven't over-engineered the product as well, so that cost is very cost-effective, so customers are able to put our products into their facilities. We make sure that we're talking with folks, and we like to say that we pride ourselves on being great listeners. We're out there in the marketplace, we're talking with everyone from the beginning of the process, the specification engineers, the architects, designers, many of the folks over at the show today. It's really great to see some people, some friendly faces there, all the way through to the distributors and wholesalers that sell our products to the plumbers, as well as the facilities owners as well. So there's 2 examples that I love to give of us, you know, design, innovation, and quality in all the right places.
All right.
Like, we're very close and in tune with very specific segments. So we have been designing products for many years for healthcare as one example, and you see that highlighted in our booth. So one thing that we developed several years ago, based on input from the field, was to add smooth end gooseneck products to our portfolio. So what this is the faucets themselves do not have aerators at the end. As we know, talking with healthcare, infectious control, aerators are a place where you could have germs, bacteria, and some other things growing there. So we've removed that, made sure that we have laminar flow to reduce splashing, So that's one example of things that we've done in the healthcare segment. Another example that I love to give is the ADS product that Marnie talked about earlier. So our architectural design series we're very proud of the fact that we've been able to meet that trend for highest quality commercial products, but also something that meets design aesthetics, something that looks really nice installed in a patient facility and gives them that feeling of being at home. So.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. The pandemic impacted the world overall, and the last couple of years there's been a trend toward updating public restrooms as a result of this. What has Delta Commercial done in that space?
Yeah, great question, really on point. So as you know, the world has been faced with this pandemic for some time here. So hand hygiene has been at the forefront of what's been happening out in the marketplace, but also another key thing that's come up in recent years is cross-contamination. So we're actually well placed with the products that we have. Because we've been talking with healthcare for so many years, we actually had a good assortment of products to meet the needs out there to reduce cross-contamination, make sure that the bacteria and germs are not spreading. So we have for new facilities as well as folks who are designing retrofits, everyone seems to be going to hands-free products there. So we have two technologies that we like to have for us. So one is proximity and the other one is H2 optics.
So I'm going to just explain. There is a screenshot of the products that we are talking about. So I'm sorry for stepping on your words, but should we start again?
No, that sounds great. So H2 optics. So this is an example. So fun fact out there, we developed our H2 optics sensing technology close to about 20 years ago as an answer for us to have a hands-free solution, but it's also immune to reflection issues. Sometimes if you have a black shirt, such as myself, you wouldn't be able to have the faucet detect you. So we developed our H2 optics technology as a way to be immune to a lot of those external factors that might affect your ability to turn on a faucet on and off.
A black shirt will impact
A black shirt used to, yes. And
really?
I'm sure you'll see that in some of the older hotels around.
I know doing this sometimes.
Exactly. So we're really proud of our ability to design sensing technology to make sure that the faucet always operates every time you put your hand underneath.
That's wonderful. What can our readers and viewers today expect from Delta Commercial this year and the year ahead? Is there anything new coming out?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, it's the rest of the ADS series launch. So if you come to our booth, number 815, just right across the way there, come over to the Delta Commercial booth, say hello to us. You'll be able to see the rest of the suite.
Thank you
so
to the chapters that participated in the ASPE race event in Indy. The winner for Region 1 is New York City, Region 2, Johnstown, Region 3, Atlanta, Region 4, Seattle, and Region 5, Omaha. In the overall winners, in first place, we have Hampton Roads. In second place, Virginia Beach, and in third place, Central Ohio. You can find the official times for each race posted in booth 2121. Thank you.
All right, let's start from the top. What can our readers expect, or viewers, from Delta Commercial in the year ahead?
Thank you again for that question. Yes. So ADS series, that rest of the suite. Right now we have the faucets that are available today. As Marnie described so well, we've got it in all the forest finishes as well as several 3 styles that we think are going to be exactly what the customer is looking for. But we have the matching the soap dispensers as well as the concealed flush valves that will also be available in the near future. In addition to that, I'd like to be able to talk about us developing more solutions for the customers that are looking for hands-free options out there. So we love to be out into the marketplace. We will be pushing and having more, myself, Marnie, or sales teams will be out in the market, talking with customers, listening to what they're looking for, and hopefully developing a fairly robust product pipeline. And again, we want to make sure that we are being that solutions providers for customers that are out there today. So I just want to make sure that folks did hear. Come over to booth 815. We've got a really friendly team that is down there. We've got good representation. We've probably got the best uniforms out there with the black and the white. a la Tiger Woods there. So definitely come by and say hello, and we'd be more than happy to talk about our products and what we see out there in terms of trends and where the future is going.
That sounds wonderful. If we have some viewers that are not here today but would like to get in touch with Delta Commercial, how can they best reach you or find out more information about your company?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have several websites. In the US, it would be deltafaucet.com. In Canada, it would be deltafaucet.ca. So there's links out there that you can be able to come and get in touch with the team, or that's probably the best way, actually.
Yeah?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have a great rest of your show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for the interview.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
We'll see you in a few minutes for our next episode of PHCP Pros Live. Good morning. My name is Amalia Delianis, and I'm the editor of We are here today at the ASPE Convention and Expo, which is taking place at the Indiana Convention Center. My guest this morning is Dennis Whitelaw from Toll Whitney. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning. Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you. Why don't we start off and why don't you tell our people, our viewers, a little bit about your role at Toll Whitney?
All right. Well, I'm the president of Toll Whitney and the owner, so that means I sell product and I sweep floors and I make coffee and I buy product and I troubleshoot and pretty much wear a lot of hats every day unless I'm out here enjoying the good food in Indianapolis.
Oh, wonderful. And why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about your company?
So we're a small company, 6 employees. We build water booster pumps for multifamily buildings, dormitories, offices, kind of the smaller buildings you see.
Okay, and you have a Gen 5 platform out there on the market today, correct?
Yeah, it's the Gen 5 is a new invention of ours. We basically have eliminated the 3-inch and 4-inch backflow preventer at the meter, and we put 2-inch backflow preventers on our booster pump frame with a DWV system. And what that's done for the engineer and the architect and the contractor is it saves a lot of space, it saves a lot of material. It also saves a lot of on-site labor, and basically it gives everybody a much smaller product to work with and eliminates a lot of hassle on the job.
Okay, so there's 5 primary systems in the Gen 5?
Well, there's 3. You have the backflow, you have the backflow DWB system, then you have the booster pump, but you can also put on a bypass, you could put on a low pressure port, you could put on flood control, you can put on strainers. There's all different types of options that the engineer can select depending on what he wants to specify.
That sounds awesome. What are the benefits of the Gen 5 to facility owners?
So that's a great question because we also often forget about the facility owner when we're specifying, but you get a much more sanitary water out of our system because in a 3-inch backflow or 4-inch, you have a lot of low flow and slow flow through there, so you get a lot of stagnant water. With ours, you have smaller backflow preventers, the water flows through it faster, creates a more sanitary system. So that's one. The second is, ASPE 188 talks about interrupted water service. So with our product, when you're testing the backflow, you don't have to interrupt the water service, which is huge for the sanitary condition. And the biggest reason for the facility owner is that when you're testing a backflow preventer, if you have a single backflow, you have to shut the entire building down. With our system, you can shut down one of the backflows and the water goes through the other backflow, and so you never have to shut the building water down. So for the facility owner, it's a huge hassle to have to tell the tenants about the testing. He doesn't have to worry about that anymore.
So it helps you isolate if there's an issue to be addressed.
Yeah, and you can isolate it also.
Yeah. Okay, are there any, what do you think, so you're a pretty small player in a big sea of players in this industry. What do you think are the advantages of being being a small, intimate company?
So when you're small, you can move quick. And one of the reasons we can move quick is we don't have a lot of third-party certifications that we, UL, NSF, or any of those. And so we don't have a lot of parties that we have to comply with. So when we have to make a decision, a couple of us get together, we make a decision, the next day we'll implement that decision. So we pivot and move very quickly.
Okay, and are there any disadvantages to being small? I mean,
yeah,
there's pros and cons to everything.
There's there's really two. There's one, multitasking, which we all struggle with, doing one thing and then getting pulled in another direction the next minute, and then trying to go back to the original task and do it right. And then the other is really focusing on our core business and not being pulled in directions that really don't help our overall mission of booster pumps.
Okay, and what inspired you to establish this whole company and create the Gen 5 platform?
So, my early days in this industry, I worked for Febco, which was a backflow manufacturer, and I worked for Zurn, and I worked for Flamatic, and so I was one of those backflow geeks, knew everything about backflow, and from the durometer, the rubber, all the way up. And so, fast forward 30 years, and I'm running a booster pump company. I thought it would be a good idea if we could, take the backflow preventers that live right next to the booster pump in the mechanical room and put them on one platform and save a lot of space. So that's really where the whole idea generated from.
Oh, and it's like, okay, so what led you to be a contrarian in the industry? Because this is not typical.
So we're a contrarian or a disruptor. By nature, I'm a rule follower. Firstborn, Boy Scout, naval officer, business owner, husband, lots of rules to follow. But when you ask why, and you come back with the because that's the way we've always done it, that's when you really start digging. And so that's what we do as a company, because we have that ability to do that. So we don't supply an ASME tank with our systems. We supply a non-ASME tank because we want to save our client thousands of dollars. We don't supply a UL 508 panel or a PLC because we don't need them, because the variable frequency drives, they're networked, they talk to each other. We don't need to spend a couple extra $1,000 on this other equipment. And then the last piece is right sizing. For 18 years we've been talking about, downsizing the demand on the buildings. We're really not using that much, so we use this Gould's chart, and now we use the water demand calculator to really do our sizing for us.
Okay, so water demand calculator, I think, is gaining traction in the industry, and you're using it. Why do you find it so important?
It really is. IAPMO, it's important because the numbers are about the same as the Gould's chart.
Okay.
But the water demand calculator is an IAPMO product. They developed it. They have a lot more credibility, and so they really, and it's a much more selective tool because you really put in a lot more information in it. And what comes out of it is your demand is typically a half to a third of your typical plumbing code demand. So that means we can use a lot smaller horsepower pumps. And if we know that demand's a lot smaller, then we know that there's less water running through the pipes, there's less friction, and so we really don't even deal with friction loss. So we're really winning on two fronts when we lower the horsepower, both from a volume and from a pressure standpoint.
Oh, wow. I'm going to switch gears and talk about I wouldn't call it the elephant in the room anymore, but the pandemic has impacted the industry quite a bit in the last few years. How has it impacted your business?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So we launched the Gen 5 right at the beginning of COVID, and it was great. We had some great momentum. We were doing lunch and learns. We were dragging the thing around, and all of a sudden COVID hit, and we were dead in our tracks. So we started developing videos and just trying to reproduce the dialogue that we're having at the lunch and learn, which actually turned out to be a good move. So we probably have about a dozen videos now that kind of go over the whole thing.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you switched to doing more virtual events, and then
yeah, the virtual events are brutal. It's tough enough to do an event in front of engineers, but when you're doing it virtually and you have 12 engineers on the computer screen and 10 of them are blank spaces, you kind of lose that connection.
Right.
So that was a little tough to do.
Well, you definitely seem more like a people person to me too, so I can see how that would impact you. What can we expect from Toll Whitney in the coming next year?
So we hope to get back on the in-person lunch and learns with the ASPE engineers, to go into ASPE events. We have the symposium coming up in Bellevue that we're looking forward to. The Boston chapter is going to have our product show again, which is one of the top shows around. So we're just looking forward to another really good year.
Great. If there's anyone at the show that would like to learn more about Toll Whitney, where can they visit you?
Yeah, so just over at booth 200, just over the wall here.
Okay.
They come visit us, or they can find us at tollwhitney.com, or give us a call.
Wonderful.
I may even answer the phone.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking time
Thanks
to speak
for
with me.
having me.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone. We'll see you in a few minutes for our next episode. Good morning. My name is Amalia Delianis, and I'm the editor of Plumbing Engineer magazine. Welcome to another episode of PHCP Pros Live. We are here today at the ASPE Convention and Expo, which is taking place at the Indiana Convention Center. My next guest this morning is Mark Chaffee with Taco Comfort Solutions. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Why don't we start off with an easy question?
Okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about your role at Taco Comfort Solutions?
Sure. So I'm the Vice President of Governmental Affairs, and then I also look after our commercial and industrial product from strategy development, next generation side of it. So it's kind of a two-phase role on that side of what we have today and the products that we'll be talking about, and then also a lot of the governmental regulations that are coming forward and affecting us and our entire industry.
Okay, and for those who may not be aware of Taco Comfort Solutions, why don't you describe your company a little bit for our viewers?
Sure. So we're just over 100 years old. And we're certainly known for our pumps on that side of it, but we do everything from pumps, valves, controls, really the whole management of moving water, storing water, and then one of the exciting products that we'll be talking about too is also we're getting into air-to-water heat pumps. So really anything in that hydronic side of the business for plumbing or HVAC heating and cooling.
Oh, wow. I know that a big issue that's been in the news quite a bit is drought and dramatic water shortages, especially out in California. What is your organization, what is TACO doing to help with this or bring awareness to this issue?
Well, I mean, it's tragic what we're seeing. I mean, just the droughts and everything that's going along with it, and the forest fires and the global warming and all that portion of it. And what we really think is that we can all do our part. So from a company standpoint, I mean, we make pumps, right? So, but what can we do with that? How can we make change every day to change habits, how we use water, how we conserve water? So we have a lot of products that are in that hot water recirculation side of it. So when you wake up in the morning and you go into the bathroom and you turn your shower on and cold water comes out. Why? Right? Let's get hot water there. Let's not take all that water that you wait before it gets hot, either in the shower or to go wash your hands, and let's get hot water there when you need it. So when you actually turn that side of the faucet on that has that big H on it that says hot, actually hot water comes out, right? And this is kind of a concept where people go, wait, that's right, I have a hot and a cold, but when I turn both of them on at the beginning of the day, cold comes out of both of them. Let's stop all that waste. And so for an average family, that could be up to about 12,000 gallons of water a year that we waste down the drain just waiting for hot water to arrive. And we have a number of products that solve that. Now they're pump-based, and some are very intelligent. Some they're demand side of it, so you can walk into the bathroom, either a motion sensor may pick you up, or a push button, turn a pump on, quickly delivers the hot water from your water heater to that faucet. So by the time you actually go ahead and turn that faucet on, you have hot water there. So we have that, and then we also have ones that are intelligent. So they'll learn the water use patterns of the household, and it will automatically adjust to get you your hot water there, so you don't have that water wastage. And it adds up. So 12,000 gallons for an average family. Multiply that by everybody on your street, in your town, in your city. We can make a huge difference on that side of it.
I love that intelligent aspect of like water demand. I think it's unique, and it'll go a long way a lot. You're supporting a gentleman by Cheswick by the name of Cheswick, and
Cheswick.
If he has this quest, can you talk about him a little bit, and what is he doing, and how are you supporting him?
So he's trying to walk the Great Western Loop, which is an incredible. It's a 3,000 mile hike all across the West, and he's a couple months into this journey, averaging about 50 miles a day, which is just crazy after a couple months of doing that. But what he's trying to do is bring awareness to the water crisis that we have, and we certainly have out in the west on that side of it. So what I say for anybody listening, check out all of our social media channels, follow Cheswick, his progress on this incredible hike that he's after, and then just try to, again, bring awareness to this water crisis that we have, and we can learn how to, everybody can do their own part to make it better.
Oh, okay, great. Let's talk about your heat pumps and their role in terms of beneficial electrification. What's new for TACO in this arena?
Well, this is really exciting for us. We're seeing a trend toward electrification. We see it in the automobiles side of it. We're also seeing it in heating and cooling and domestic hot water generation. So what we're really trying to do is we've introduced an air-to-water heat pump. So we're using the sun and the wind and natural source on that side to try to get that electricity, power a heat pump, extract out of the air either the heating or cooling, and putting it into water to distribute around a house to get you your heating and cooling side of it. And the nice thing is not only do you get your heating and cooling, but it also generates your domestic hot water. So it's an all-in-one unit and a heat pump with COPs well over 3. So we're running a system that is over 300% efficient on that side for your heating, cooling, and domestic hot water loads, all in one unit.
Oh wow! What about? I know that you're touting a couple of products at today's show. What about your commercial expansion tanks? Can you talk about the features and what their benefits are?
Sure, and this is another exciting part for us because this has a patent pending. So anytime you can really start to revolutionize what's going on in a domestic hot water tank. I mean, tanks aren't, well, we love tanks, but it's tough to get excited about things new in a tank. But what we have on this side is we have a special patent pending connection at the top of the tank that channels the flow into the expansion bladder of the tank. So what you don't get any spots in that tank that are stagnant. So really what you're doing is you're maintaining full flow, but no stagnation, no areas where you could have microbacterial buildup. Most people think of that as Legionella and things on that side of it. But you need an expansion tank because it's a critical part of the system. I mean, you need one to make the system work well. But now you're stopping any of those dead areas or stagnant areas within that system. So it's a very simple device. No special controls or plumbing or anything else is needed different, but solves a huge problem in the industry and provides a much safer system overall.
Okay, so the connection on top, could you describe it a little bit? How is what was in its place beforehand? I mean, how is this just what did you use?
Yeah, usually you just have you'd have an expansion tank and you have a bladder that would just expand as the pressure changes on that side of it. What we're actually doing is we're forcing flow into the tank, all the way down and through the entire bladder on that side of it. So instead of it just bypassing, we're forcing flow through that tank, so you get a continuous flow of water and exchange inside that tank where you hadn't had it before.
Oh wow! So TACO is known for its quality and innovation of their pumps, and we're going to go back to our pumps.
Yeah, good old pumps.
There's a lot of contractors walking the floor. What kind of options are available, or what are some of the latest options available for them to be aware of?
And it's certainly the breadth of our line. We have everything from those small recirculating pumps that we talked about earlier for residences, where you might be moving 3 gallons a minute of water, all the way up to 30,000 gallons, right? So we have a huge line of different products on that pumping side to meet really anybody's needs. And then we really combine that also with intelligent controls to go ahead and meet different applications and improve those in terms of either differential pressure control, temperature control of the pumps, and then materials. So, at this show, we've certainly been touting all of our stainless steel products, NSF rated, and also in the commercial side, we have some, we're one of the only manufacturers that will do commercial hot rated NSF. So when you're looking for an application where you need elevated hot temperatures for your domestic hot water system, especially in that commercial side or hospital side or industrial, we have all the products to meet that with the ratings that you need to meet those specifications that you have on your design side.
Obviously, TACO is very into energy efficiency. Talk about how you are meeting DOE demands, energy efficiency, and what is, it's just the way things are going. So could you talk to us a little bit about TACO's role or position in that?
Sure, and that's really my hat on the government affairs
Good.
side. So
Perfect.
I do a lot of work in the industry with our industry organization. So we have the Hydraulic Institute on that side of it, and we've been working very closely as an entire industry with the DOE. Now the DOE has started to regulate our industry in pumps. Going back to 2020. So we've looked at that efficiency upgrades, and then also what we did as an industry. So all the pump manufacturers, we all got together. Not only did we have to meet the DOE regulations, but then what we did is we created a labeling system. So very similar to what you may have on your automobile, right? How many miles per gallon should I get out of, this car, right? And a nice hybrid's going to be different than your Ferrari, right? But we do that for pumps.
Okay.
So all the pumps now are labeled, so any contractor can go ahead and see, hey, the pump that I am choosing to put into this job, I may have different options. I may have different options from different manufacturers, or even from a single manufacturer like TACO. You may have different pumps that could go ahead and be put into a specific application. But now what you can also say is you can look at that label and go, okay, what does this mean from an energy standpoint? How is this rated? And then now you can start to make some decisions about putting in the most efficient pump, not only to meet your head and flow demands, but also your energy usage side of it. So the labeling's nice, and then what we've also done is we've spent an awful lot of time redesigning the majority of our product range to maximize that efficiency. So TACO is definitely leading the industry in energy efficient pumping and pumping systems on that side of it.
Wow. Do you, across the board, do you see the DOE making more of an impact across the industry, or impacting how products are manufactured, or at least labeled, and raising more awareness to every aspect of the water system?
Yes, the DOE is definitely in a rulemaking frenzy across our entire industry. I will say that. So next up is circulators.
Yeah.
So today, commercial industrial pumps are regulated. So back in 2020, they eliminated about a quarter of the least efficient pumps out of the market. And coming up, probably by the end of the year, we're estimating that the DOE will issue a final rulemaking for smaller residential circulators. That will really force those from current technology to ones with an ECM motor. So really taking a huge jump in efficiency of those products. So that's going to be quite a change for the industry. So for products we've been making for 70 years, will be regulated out of existence, and we'll be moving to a next generation technology. So a lot of contractors will have to get used to putting in ECM driven pumps with controls and logic and variable speed and things on that side of it. So it is going to be a game changer for our industry. But at the same time, just as we had talked before, as a company, as an industry, we're trying to make the right choices and drive not only correct applications for the products, but if we can do that and save a lot of energy along the way, it really is a win-win for all of us.
And since the technology will be changing, are you offering training opportunities for contractors or engineers interested in learning process a little bit better.
Absolutely,
yeah.
we love to train. we absolutely do. We have a number of dedicated trainers on our staff, so we offer training back at our factory in Rhode Island, on the road, online. We do Taco Tuesdays. So if you're ever hanging out on Tuesday evening and going, what am I going to do tonight? Come online, join us virtually with Taco Tuesdays. But again, check out a lot of our social media channels and that side of it. But there's always an opportunity to learn something about products, about applications, or a lot of the topics we talked about today to dive deeper in if anybody's interested.
Oh, cool. So, in the year ahead, looking a little forward, what can we expect from TACO? What can our readers or viewers, excuse me, PE readers for me, plumbing engineer readers, expect from TACO this year coming up?
It's going to be an exciting year. A lot of innovation, new products, and we're really trying to push more and more on that efficiency story. Right? We've done a lot of work with new products and trying to make them more efficient, and now it's really getting those adopted into the marketplace and people understanding, okay, I have a choice. Let me go ahead and make a better choice for my customer, for my application and job, so the entire system can perform better, at the same time of using higher efficient products on that portion of it. I think we're a lot of training, and what we really like to try to do is, as we mentioned, even with Cheswick, right, out there just kind of saying, hey, we have a water issue. Let's bring some attention to it. So we're going to continue to push that side of it and try to do our part and have everybody hopefully is listening in, do their part and talk to their customers about putting in water saving type devices and more efficient products.
Great. Well, for anyone viewing or touring the floor today, where can we visit you at ASPE? What's your booth number?
641. So
641.
Right in the middle of the hall there.